Dabbin', 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 baby love. Coming up on the Fraudcast.
In the States or abroad, no one's safe from the talkers of fraud. In the States or abroad, no one's safe from the talkers of fraud.
The following goes beyond the show and beyond the gram to bring you all the fraud that's fit to be uncovered. This is the Fraudcast, and now, here are your fraudcasters, Hanakawa and Katrina.
I did not read your intro. That took me by surprise. I'm quite happy about that. Oh my god! Can we spend a second to ask what the hell that was about? I'm like, is he saying dabbing or dabbing?
He was saying dabbing. I mean, that's what the closed captioning said. Dabbing, dabbing, dabbing. He wasn't actually dabbing in the sense that we know, like the arm over the face. Like he wasn't doing it right. But he and Baby Lisa were both singing, dabbing, dabbing, dabbing. So I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
I'm hoping and praying that is like an interlude on his album.
Oh, God.
I need that. I need that to be available. That? I need it.
You need it in your life.
Oh, my gosh.
I'll be there for you.
Oh, my God. That's such an earworm for people. Like, people are like, I hate that song, but they can't get over just, like, they're cooking
how catchy it is.
Right? And they go, Baby Girl Lisa. Out of nowhere.
Baby Girl Lisa.
They're like, stop it.
Well, there's a lot of fun stuff to talk about in the Lisa Nussman segment. So there's a lot of funny from that whole scene we can talk about.
Needed funny because right now we're still dealing with the lovely COVID. So, you know. Yeah.
How are you doing? How are you hanging in there?
So my introvert is still keeping me holding tight. My kid is a little stir crazy, and he's come up with a list of things he wants to do, as he says, after the virus. It's really hard because when you have kids, you have to explain to them why we're not going anywhere, why you're not going to school. And the best thing I can do is,
without scaring them.
Without scaring them
too much.
Right? So letting them know, hey, there's just a virus out there making people sick, and to make sure that we stay safe and to stop it from spreading, we stay inside. He comprehended that. But now it's, when the virus is over, can we go to the pool? Oh, when the virus is over, can we go buy this? I hope the virus is over soon because I want a hamburger. I'm like, oh my God, I made one for you last night and you didn't eat it. So I do
he doesn't
not
want your hamburger, Mom.
Oh my God,
but it wasn't hamburger.
It wasn't from Mrs. Donald's as he says it.
One
of his caretakers. One of his caretakers was Miss McDonald, and so he's always said Miss McDonald, and so he thinks that's what McDonald's is. I'm like, ugh. So when he goes, cute. Can we go inside, Miss Donald? I'm like, no, you cannot.
I'm in one of those moods right now, like today, that like I'm just angry and cranky at everything and for no reason.
Oh.
Like, it's like, hetero life mate sitting over there eating crackers, and why you gotta be sitting over there eating crackers? And he didn't do anything to like, that was worthy of anything, but I'm just irritated. Like my neighbors are having like interior remodeling work done, and every day there's this construction noise outside, like hammering, sawing, things like that, and it's for some reason it's just wearing on me today. And like, dude, like, is that considered essential? Who's doing the work? Is that your family? Like, who's doing the work? Like, why? Because we're all on this lockdown now. Like, right. The entire state went on it, so is that considered essential? Why are you, like, everything is irritating me. And so that's where I'm at.
Well, it doesn't help to be. It doesn't help to be stressed out first. Adding on top of that, the kind of anxiety that comes with this type of thing. This is a first-time situation for a majority of the population, so I can imagine it's putting everyone on a level of what's the word? Trigger? I don't know. Sensitivity.
Oh, yeah.
So, over there playing his Animal Crossing is just triggering you.
Yeah, no, like, and he didn't do, he was sleeping most of the day. I don't know. and I just wanted a nap, and I couldn't do that, and Baby Frauded was sending me texts about something and on Amazon and Twitch, and it wouldn't work, and I had no idea what he was talking about, and I couldn't fix it, and then Hetero Life Mate showed up, and he was able to talk him through whatever needed to be done, so he like saved the day, but I'm still like irritated at everything, and I'm hearing this hammering and sawing outside, and I'm like, and I am hungry, I do need to eat, and I think Hetero Life Mate is cooking dinner right now, which is good.
There we go.
Because as soon as that I get off this, I'll eat, and then he'll put the show together, and we'll have it out for you because we're recording this late for you guys. So,
real time. What do you mean? It's real time.
there's still plenty of time. But COVID is also kind of putting us out of business because the cast isn't doing much. Like we don't have the. I don't know. We don't have some of the antics that we had earlier in the season. And there's some stuff that we're getting on, there's a smear campaign out there against Avery that we're following, that we're getting information on, but we're not covering because it has nothing to do with the show. If that makes sense. So like, there's just, we already solved the Yolanda Williams stuff. So like at this point, we're kind of in a holding pattern. So
we just have to wait for them to give us some more. Because, we're only, 4 episodes in. The cast still has many opportunities to be crazy. So
True.
And in each episode, there's the 2 that we know are going to give us some gold to talk about. So
this is true. We do have a lot of social media roundup for you today. And we're also just going to cover the episode a little bit. And the funny that was in some of the episodes.
The funny moments.
Because, oh my God, because David and Lana, their segment is just hilarity to me. That was TV gold for me right there. Maybe my standards are getting lower being closed up and, cooped up in here, but David and Lana. So he is at the train station or he's getting ready to go to the train station, and he's wearing his like best Costco purple shirt, and these black pants and these black tennis shoes. And I'm like, okay, first of all, we have to talk about how he looks because that's what you're going to wear to impress somebody. Really?
Well, yeah. You saw the rest of his wardrobe. I think that was his best.
I know, and it's so sad because,
hopefully she's seen many pictures of him with and without. I'm going to that. But, on his side, I'm thinking that it will be what she expects if she was there to meet him.
If she's not really Boris typing out of the basement of the Kremlin.
Boris. Okay, so I want to actually step back because it was brought to my attention that when he first lands, remember how he's packing up, he's landing, and he's telling Anya that, he's going to meet her. He's told her the plans of how he's going to meet her at the train station, and she's meeting him at the airport. You remember that part?
Oh, right. Yes.
So there's something she says that caught my attention, but I didn't think about it too much until now. Is she seemed extremely confused why she was there. Did you notice that? She goes, "Why isn't Lana meeting you at the airport?" And I'm thinking in my head, if he had told her about this ahead of time, let me meet you, I'm meeting Lana. It seems like he really goes into detail telling people his plans. And she seemed seriously surprised. So I don't know. It just kind of got me thinking, is it something?
That we're not getting the whole story.
Something? Are we not getting the whole story? Was Lana supposed to meet him at the airport and she didn't? And so they, kind of put something together quickly, or, it's interesting.
TLC.
That was just my tidbit
TLC
of
fraud.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm just getting the gears going because there's nothing else to think about on that one. But
yeah, that's true. That whole storyline. The Lana issue aside, having this Anya girl. Now, a lot of people are saying Anya is Lana, right? And I don't know that we have anything to corroborate that, but the story as it goes is that Anya is somebody that he had met previously on this website.
Right.
And when he went there on one of his many trips that he's taken out to Ukraine, they met and just didn't hit it off. He said something about her being shy, which is code for she wouldn't put out. She says something about them not clicking, like they're not being chemistry, but they have remained friends.
Right.
I don't know how close of friends. I think this is like they're Facebook friends. They talk. I don't know, how much he shared with her, because when they're sitting there talking after the train station, she's like, no, this Lana girl, she's fake. This is what we do here. We get on these websites, we make money, and this is how it happens. Like, she's not a real person.
Right.
And so I know Agent C, who has been saying that this whole scene it's like Ricky and Melissa part 2. Everyone's saying he's the white Caesar, but a lot of people are saying he's actually more reminiscent of Ricky and Melissa, how that was the A plot, but then the subplot was, this Jimena girl showing up.
Right.
So maybe the Dave and Lana are the Ricky and Melissa, and Anya is the Jimena of the situation.
Right. That would almost seem more fitting because, at least he's getting to Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
At least he's in like the same country at the same time, supposedly, with Lana. The whole train scene is just kind of like, I think
when he's just wandering the train station.
I know,
with clearly, apparently, no information about what train she's supposed to be on, what 8 o'clock,
what day she's
Ukraine.
coming. Yeah, he can't even read the signs. I'm like, this guy. I can't believe that this guy who's been there so many times isn't savvy enough to know a little bit about the country he's visited multiple times.
Right.
Like, I can't believe he's that clueless.
Yeah. So it screams, there's got to be some other, is this TLC fraud on us?
Maybe. Who knows? We'll have to keep, as I hate saying that, we'll have to keep watching their story.
Right. and we're going to keep digging. Don't worry. We're going to keep digging and seeing what we can find out. But
he takes his laptop with him, which, like, if I wholeheartedly believe that someone was going to meet me there, I wouldn't take the only device that I feel like I can contact them with. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe he was planning for maybe missing her or not being able to find her. But
it's so funny because, he has to contact her on the website, and it's not even an app. It's only apparently a website, so he can't contact her on the phone. It has to be on the laptop. So he's walking with the laptop, and somebody said, "Oh, they're holding hands." That's who he's really been in a relationship with, is this laptop. So he's walking through like the square or whatever on his way to this cafe or something, and he's just carrying the laptop, no protective case, no carrying case, no
he's rich.
cord,
what
no power cord.
Case? You can just buy a new one.
No power cord, nothing. He's just walking through holding this laptop, which is, of course, all kinds of bullshit, how that, plays out. But, that's who he's been in a relationship with for the last 7 years. So that's adorable. They're holding hands. So he goes to this cafe or whatever, and he gets on, and she's not there, of course. She's not online. And he takes that to mean that, she must be still in transit, because he still can't, I guess, believe that.
Right.
That she really wants to marry. She's in love with him, and she really wants to marry him. That's why she's stood him up now 4 times.
I know. I'm like, how many more times will he have to, break his heart over this?
Yeah. So Anya is telling him, like, you can't go. He's like, I'm just gonna go drive there to her town because I have her address from when we were on the cruise. Which, first of all, do you think that's really her? She gave her real address if she had no intention of showing up for this cruise?
Right. If I was so shy, why would I let you know where you can find me?
Right. So he claims he has, he doesn't have a phone number for her, but he has this address because she gave it to him when they were going to do a cruise. The cruise company needed it. So he allegedly has her address, but I doubt that if he does have her address, whether it's a valid address or not, you know.
And I'm not sure because I don't know, depending on what site they're on. I thought that was one of the no-nos, was no exchanging personal information. And if there's a person in the middle translating these conversations, I can't imagine how she'd be able to share her address with him.
Right. It's, you know, and he probably wasn't smart enough to Google it, you know, so, or he should have been. If you get an address, you Google it, you do Google Earth, you do a Google Map Earth search and see what it is. And it's, you know, a warehouse. It's a warehouse somewhere. Who knows, you know? So is this more TLC fraud? Is this just, what is this? You know, is it, so he says he's going to drive there. Anya's like, that's by where the fighting is, the war is, that's not safe. So that's what we're left with, is him intent on driving out to her house, which of course this address has got to be right. Nothing else she's told him is planned out, but the address will be right. Why, that doesn't even make sense. So the whole storyline on this is just not making sense. If they're trying to sell it as a genuine, he's being catfished by her or whatever, they're not selling it very well.
Yeah, I'm excited, or not excited. I'm anxious to see how the rest of his story goes and how long we're going to be driven insane by not seeing or hearing Lana. Mm-hmm. Because if they pull a, you know, Caesar on us, we're looking at like the last couple episodes.
Right.
And like we're on episode, what, 4? Like we're really going to have to suffer through, I think, many more. Because that's how TLC likes to do it. They want to drag this all out.
All right. Well, we know that's going to happen with Yolanda and the Williams. Because we know on like, at least just from our behind the scenes information, on like at least up to like episode 8, she still doesn't know that Williams is a catfish.
Right, and they may not even have her in the episodes. Like they're doing a thing where like couples aren't in it at all. So, but yeah, that's all I had for Dave and Lana, or just Dave and Apple right now.
Dave and Lana the laptop. Okay, well, Lisa and Usman.
Now that was fun.
Yeah.
So, this buildup was, they're going to his video premiere party that he's holding to debut the music video that Lisa apparently thinks she has the rights to say how it should be, look, feel.
Right.
Which, you know, amongst all the questions asking people and all the Instagram polls, people think she's kind of off her rocker for, you know.
A little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Just because it's like, okay, he wrote the song for you. That's great. We all discussed this. That doesn't mean that you need to be in it. And so I think the video that they showed just had him singing in this tropical setting for a couple minutes. So there was nobody he was actually singing to. Fun thing today is he actually posted the music video that included the model. Okay. So I don't know if that was like, okay, now that scene's over with, you can release the actual music video, because it's been out on YouTube on and off. Like his YouTube keeps getting videos deleted off of it. I'm not sure what's going on.
But they've showed parts of it on the show as well, because we've seen the model in there, and that, you know, Lisa complaining that this model, you know, should be. Lisa doesn't understand this concept that, yes, while he did write the song for you, the song to the world is not you necessarily. He's selling it to the world, right? Like, that's not how it works. And God,
and she was the only one happy at that premiere party. Like, the whole thing's playing, and I don't think the response from the crowd was as excited for the video as they were when he was dabbing. Dab song.
Dab. Well, they interviewed these girls afterwards, and they're like, yeah, normally we're a fan of anything he does, but this was just boring. That old white lady, he just wants her money.
Oh,
it's not real love.
God. Winifred.
I want to find her.
Her name is Winifred.
Winifred, if you're out there,
talk to her. Yes, please, because
please contact us.
She was the best part of that segment. I was like,
yes.
TLC, who did you find?
Because that was amazing. That was amazing. And it's true, and
and she's like
God.
telling Lisa to run. Like, she's just like, honey, go. Like, this isn't right. But yeah, like the reaction when he was announcing his love for her was just like, it was bad.
Look at the white American over there. That's my fiance. I love.
And I was like, why did he have to say white American? Why did you have? They know. They couldn't find that out. Like,
just to make sure everybody knew. Oh. And then her picture up on the screen.
It looked like a memorial. Like,
well, she does want to be in the video as a ghost, so maybe
I can't.
And her dressing up to go to the club is like she pulls her hair back in her good scrunchie.
She looked pretty good though. She looked pretty good. I don't know if it was the mood lighting of the club, but it looked like she did make effort to be dressed up to be there.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Hanakawa, you're too nice to people. No, what else?
You just laugh at everything.
I know, I laugh at everything. It's fine.
They go to before the premiere party. Is it before or after the premiere party?
No,
they take the airplane.
After. Yes,
they take the airplane to the town where his mom is, and they go check into the hotel room. And she's like, "Ooh, we're gonna stay in the chalet." Like, and then she walks in and she shits all over the hotel room, which is fine. And it was a perfectly fine hotel room, probably nice for for Nigeria, period, much less that area of Nigeria.
Right.
Correct. And she's just, correct. You guys, we say right too much.
I just, so they check into the hotel and she's already kind of nosed up at it because it doesn't look like the best hotel in the area. But I don't think she understands what best is in the area. And she has her...
It's relative, right.
Her American standard goggles on. And for where he is, he's probably thinking, yes, this is extremely nice,
Yeah, I mean, he normally sleeps in a bed with two other dudes and has a dirt floor.
Oh.
Like...
She had a heart attack over it being 2 box springs.
Mm-hmm.
And like, okay, I get it. That's a little odd, but I'm like,
yeah,
I have, I'm not going to say I've visited worse, but like there have been hotels in America where were we? It wasn't Las Vegas. It was like the pretend Las Vegas. Is it Laughlin? Where the room was okay, but there was like a board on top of the spring, or it was like it was sleeping on a rock. I was like, who booked this hotel? God. But there's that bad everywhere. It just depends. But
yeah.
I hate how much she complained about everything.
She's such a bitch about it, right? Like she's such a bitch about it.
Well, she's just kind of like looking at him like, oh my God, no, I can't believe you deal with this. This is not
she's like,
nice.
This is terrible. This is terrible. This is horrible.
And it even drove him nuts. He's like, I can't deal with this. Like, you're insulting me. You're insulting my country. You're insulting everything. And she should try the bucket. It could be quite nice. She doesn't know yet. She hasn't tried his method.
Right. We know that in India, when they had the bucket, that Sumit was washing Jenny's hair with it. So, maybe Usman would wash Lisa everywhere with it. I don't know. But she just comes in with this entitled assholeness that's completely uncalled for, because it's not like she comes from really nice stock, right? Like she doesn't live at the Ritz-Carlton. And for her to walk in there and just shit all over everything, it was just like, just
right.
But
by some of our worst standards, are still a step above in other countries. But and even if that's the case, I think that you should still respect where somebody is, because it comes off as her just being completely disgusted with his way of life.
Yeah,
and well, that's she not, is.
And she is, and Lisa and Respect. She's got a very casual relationship with Respect. She doesn't have it. She's not respectful.
Yeah.
And then she just continues to prove why she's terrible. So that's Lisa Nesman.
Yep. That's enough for them.
Darcy and Tom, we get a little glimpse of them. Glimpse of Darcy.
A little glimpse.
That's a little glimpse.
I think they filmed 2 hours worth of them, and they're sprinkling 5 minutes in each episode.
Oh yeah. This is just, there's not much to what we see with them. It's more of the same. I feel like in some ways we were watching the same thing we watched when it was Darcy and Jesse meeting up in New York. We see her in her room, they're each getting ready, and they're each she's saying the same things that she said when it was Jesse, and Tom's saying the same kinds of things. I think he's overblowing it a little bit. Oh, I really did love her, and all this stuff. I love her more than she knows. Yeah, okay, whatever. And I doubt that, but I don't know. Like, it's like we know what's coming because we've seen this before. We've seen the show before, right?
I mean, if I have to see them about to sit down at the table one more time, like, oh my God, just get to it.
I know, my God, we don't need to see that scene again. And no, I'm not comfortable. When he goes to hug her or whatever, and I'm not comfortable. And yeah, so. They're teeing us up for that whole conversation. And from what I've seen on social media and some of the commentary on some posts and stuff, Tom says that he's not portrayed in a very good light. He says some things that are not very nice. He acknowledges it. So he's, stealing us for whatever conversation that we're going to see on air, which is, him being kind of a dick and Darcy being Darcy, I'm sure.
Right.
She'll cry and she'll say she's strong and doesn't need him and whatever. And then she'll try to sleep with him that night.
If she can come out feeling victorious, fine.
But she's not going to. She's never going to.
But I feel like all this is just, it's all set up to just tell us nothing. Like, they're going to have this fight. They're going to walk away and she's going to be like, I don't know. I don't know what we are.
Right.
she's still gonna be confused, and he's gonna be like, I'm engaged to someone else, and it's just gonna be, as Tom says about the thing, a shit show or a clusterfuck. I was like, yeah, you're right, it was a clusterfuck tell-all that didn't tell us anything. But yes. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that. And given what we know, what was really happening in real life when this was being filmed, like, that's when, those pictures of Tom with that other woman were being aired. That's when I got them back in September or whatever of last year. We know each of them had moved on. At some point shortly after that is when Darcy was with that dude that, I can't even remember his name now. The one who the guy in the beanie
came on the show. Who came on the show, who kept sending me messages, and then he would say, no, everything I told you was a lie, and then he would tell me, no, everything I told you that time was a lie, and he doesn't know Darcy, and that guy, whoever he is, like, he comes into her life pretty soon, in as far as the real time of what's happening. So
right,
we'll see what TLC does with it. I guess
they're gonna make us wait with it. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, of course they are. Everyone's been waiting for them, so
I know
they're just going to drag it out, keep us watching.
Now that's truly the most anticipated couple of the season.
Who's not anticipated is Ed and Rosemary.
Oh, I don't feel.
I still can't with this. I still can't with this guy.
He's just moping and trying to get in contact with a person he pretty much insulted. 24
he called her a dirty
earlier.
whore. Yeah.
You know, basically was insinuating. She like, I don't know.
Yeah.
My mind.
He called her a dirty whore.
I wish that she would have just never answered him and went back to her life, because that's what he deserved.
Yeah.
You know?
And then he's like texting her and he's like, oh, I'm going to text her in Tagalog to show her that I'm really trying.
He makes it sound like it's a great thing he just started doing. I was like, you know, that app's been available for a while.
That was Google
Anna
Translate.
Marcel, you know, everyone else has been using a cell phone except for you. Like, what? You've been making this poor girl just speak English?
It's a sense of entitlement coming across again, like we talked about last week. Like, what made me so incensed with him is that same, like, oh, I'll just be speaking to you in English this whole time because it's totally fine to make you have to copy and paste my words into your translating things so you understand what I'm saying. And, you know, it's extra special when I translate it and send you the Tagalog version instead of the English version. Like, no, you son of a bitch. Like, you needed to be sending her in Tagalog the whole time. I've had conversations with people when I, like, Larissa's baby daddy in Portuguese and Sasha's ex-wife, like, in Russian. I've had these conversations with people who don't speak English, and I don't send them stuff in English and expect them to translate it. I run it through the translator before I send it to them. He couldn't be bothered to do that for this queen, this person he loves so much. No, fuck you, Ed. Rosemary, you can do so much better.
Right.
And then the preview of next week seems, oh my God, like he wants to kiss her and then he complains about her legs not being shaved. And I'm like, oh my God, this guy. I can't with this guy. I just can't.
It just drives me nuts. Like everything he is doing, I'm just like, just go home. Like we get a glimpse of the preview where, it's just awkward. I can't. I can't.
Mm-hmm. I know. You don't get mad, but can you shave your legs? Your legs are like mine. They're hairy. Like, you are such a gross, ew. She's not your fucking blow-up doll. Ew. Okay. All right. I can't with him. Stephanie and Erica.
So they finally kiss.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's like the biggest highlight of their segment.
Right. And her ordering the $100 bottle of champagne.
You know, I think for Stephanie, if it's actually her that paid for it, I don't think that is too much.
Okay. I mean, we
watched these guys flex, right? Ed,
right.
You know,
yeah.
In the preview, we see Ed ordering like the finest champagne.
Right.
So I think,
which somebody Googled and it's like $6.
Hey, maybe it's the finest for that hotel.
It might be. Yeah. I don't know. I guess I don't think it's necessary to flex on the $100 bottle of champagne. Like the regular bottle of champagne is fine, you know, for their purposes. But whatever, it's okay.
Only thing is like those two. I think I felt like their interaction was a bit awkward, and I think it was just. I mean, it's the awkwardness that they all kind of have. I think on a scale of 1 to 10.
Right, where they know each other pretty intimately, but then this is the first time you're seeing each other in person, so there's a level of awkwardness that's weird because you do know each other so intimately, but not physically, and now you're trying to meld those two worlds, and it's a very odd pairing.
Right. And I think I get, you know, I hope that when you're chatting with someone that you are interested in romantically and you're going to meet them, you're going to explain that you don't jump into any kind of sex first. Like, I don't think it's an expectation to like bang on the first night. They may have had like heated chats or whatever, but I feel like what's lacking from this season, lacking from the show in general, is the communication aspect. Like, I feel like for me, I would let somebody know how it is before I spent money and time flying out to meet him.
Right. You would have had that conversation.
Right. How do you feel about jumping off the plane and into the bed? Well, you know, actually, I'd like to wait a week. I don't know.
You know, let's see how it goes.
Let's see how it goes. I need to make sure you don't have like the flu or something before I kiss you. Like, I don't know.
Which I always suspect was just part of my cynical nature with the show is either these couples if they're really not having those conversations, then they're just, it's so ridiculous. Does TLC really expect us to believe that they're not having these conversations ahead of time? And then, you know, for some of the people like Ash and Avery, right? They seem pretty, you know, they've both got a good head on their shoulders. They're both, you know, seem genuinely in love. No one's trying to get a green card here, you know. Like, they would have had this conversation, and for them to act on TV like they haven't had this conversation is just not believable. Like, TLC, you know what I mean?
Right. No,
So,
for sure.
yeah.
But we'll never know. There's even questions like, you know, scenes where, you know, they're spending the night at the hotel and they're actually, you know, spending the night together. I don't know. For me, I feel like a lot of that is made up to make some kind of consistency of the filming. But I can imagine, like, in that case, Stephanie would probably spend the night alone. I don't know.
You can spend the night together without boning.
You definitely can.
You know, and I guess in their case, it wouldn't be boning anyway.
It's funny because we have like Avery and Ash that were like on it, and then we have Stephanie and Erica probably at like a 6 or a 7, and then you have Ed at like 15. Like, first night shenanigans that did not happen. Well, no, we have Lisa and Usman too, but I think she made that an expectation.
Yeah, I think they talked about that.
Right.
Well, you know, because she told him it was going to be, you know, raw dog in it.
No. I have hot dogs in the fridge to eat because I know my kid likes it. And so the visual connection I'm putting with hot dogs and Lisa, I'm not enjoying. So
No. Yeah. So Stephanie and Erica, then they also go to this wild animal park dressed as the Crocodile Hunter and Mrs. Crocodile Hunter.
She was so flippin' cute, though.
They were definitely
Erica,
cute.
Oh my God. Yes.
And so I have to comment on this. So when they sit down and Stephanie's like pulling out all her medication or whatever, this is what I have to take to keep me alive. Like, all of that is true. She does probably have to take a lot of medication to keep her alive. She probably does not need to carry 3 months worth in her backpack at once, which is what she seemed to have pulled out. And I think that they're playing that up, that aspect of this. Like, can Erica deal with how sick she can be and this stuff? And she has a very legitimate, you know, concern. She does have to be careful. She does have to, you know, use the hand sanitizer. She has to keep herself healthy and take all these medications. But when she pulled like this bag of boxes of medication out of, like, you don't need to carry that with you when you go to the wild animal park. And I think that they're doing a lot of this for dramatic effect. You know,
of course.
I take a lot of medications. I don't carry them in 3 months worth in a box in my backpack.
Well, and you know, who knows? Like, when you take a lot, it may look like it's 3 months, but maybe that's, you know, because she was out there for what, 2 weeks? Mm-hmm. Maybe she had some contingency with her. I don't know.
Right.
You know, shit happens, and you don't want to be stuck somewhere without at least a week extra of meds.
Right, but are you going to carry all of that in the backpack that you're taking with you to the wild animal park? This is my question, is because whatever she has to take in the middle of the day, like, she could have just carried that with her to the wild animal park. She appeared to pull out on the show from her backpack appeared to be 3 months worth of medication. And that's, you know, like, I take medications in the morning, I take some midday, and I take some at night for my multiple sclerosis and all the associated symptoms that I'm trying to manage, right? So I take a whole bunch too. And if I were to carry all the bottles with me and pull them all out every single time I took any of them, no, like, it just doesn't make sense.
Right.
You know, Yeah, so I think they did it for dramatic effect. I'm sure with as much medication as she takes, she's got them much more organized than just pulling out these boxes and pulling things left and right. And all of that was just for dramatic effect. Is my
Well, they had to have like a shock factor for Erica to see like, holy shit, she's got all this she's got to do. You know, because there's always a "can you deal with me" aspect of each person in the relationship. So
when she really probably had to take 2 pills in the middle of the day,
But I'm excited for the next. We saw the preview for the next episode. They're going to be making making
boobies.
like plaster boob things.
You're excited to see boobies.
I don't get to see them; they're blurred out. But
yeah.
Stephanie's reaction the whole time is like, "What the fuck is going on?" Which makes you curious about that because, her YouTube and Patreon is very openly sexual. So I'm like, is she really this prude about this? Or, Yeah,
well, she's got her persona that she sells is this hypersexual person, but that's her persona that she sells. That's not who she is behind the scenes. So she's made no bones about the fact that she is not as hypersexualized as the person that she portrays herself to be on social media. The person who sells nude pictures of herself, she is not that behind the scenes. That's just the persona she's selling to whoever buys her stuff.
It's hard because, I think to some degree everybody puts up a little bit of an exaggerated version of themselves for social media, but it takes a different personality to be able to be that strong and be naked. So I don't know if it's her, if it's her being fake or if she just is like that. People have many different, faces that they put on for different audiences. So because I couldn't. I'm very modest, surprisingly, when it comes to showing off body parts, just because I just don't. But yeah, I have a very dirty mind, so I don't know. There's a difference. People who talk to me and know me, I'm like, you're modest? Yeah, no.
So that's them. Ash and Avery were not on this episode, but we see a preview of them discussing the situation with his kid being more complicated than he initially let on, which to me says, oh, well, baby mama probably was like, hell no, you're not taking my kid to another country. And he just hasn't told Avery.
Right. Which, makes sense because he wants to marry an American and move doesn't mean
she's going to be okay with that.
To accept that. Yeah. Like he's just going to visit you then because he's got school and our school's better. No. Whatever, she wants to be with her kid. She doesn't want her kid to go to America, Exactly.
And then we have Yolanda and Williams, which were not on this episode, but we have the preview where I thought this was funny because they show this preview where they're looking at his social media, his Instagram. And you can, even though they blurred it out, you can tell it's that same image that we have seen on the account that we've identified a million times already. So, and then her daughter saying, no, I'm sure my mom's getting catfish. Look, that's a Nigerian phone number. And that's the same guy that we have identified already. So, we'll see what they do with that information.
We'll see what further stuff they have because I don't know. Knowing as far as we got, there's still like missing pieces of, did she actually go to England? Like all that's still up in the air. Is she actually going to go to England? Who is she going to meet if they do go to England? How far is this catfishing scheme going to go?
Exactly. Social media roundup.
This is the most favorite part because because everybody is at home, they were on their phones and they're doing crazy things on their phones.
They're bored as fuck on their phones. And so Tom and Ed and who else was involved in this did a quote unquote shower challenge that nobody asked for.
Well, it started with, I think Tom did like a push-up challenge. Right?
Okay.
It started out with like Tom's push-up challenge. And then Ash took it to another level and did another type of challenge. I forgot what the details of his challenge was. And then Ed came out with the shower challenge. I think it was with an asterisk shower with your dog challenge.
Yeah, I didn't need to see Ed in the shower, much less Ed in the shower with his dog.
I didn't need to see any of them in the shower.
Yeah.
Some
terrible.
people probably actually needed to see them in the shower. I know that Tom has some hardcore fans.
He does, yes.
Laura jumped in
to
this challenge. And
no.
who else did? I think, did Avery? Oh, no, Stephanie did. Stephanie brought her pizza in.
Okay.
I forgot who brought in the stuffed animal. I think it was Avery. I think Avery joined in with the stuffed animal.
Nice.
I stopped following because I just got all I saw was like people in the showers. I'm like, guys.
Yeah, done. I'm over it. Yeah.
We already have enough shower scenes in the 90-day show.
I don't know. I don't need to see that on social media.
So, yeah, that was the shower challenge. What else do you have on your list?
Ash came out on social media saying he does in fact have thyroid issues and probably has Graves' disease, hence his buggy eyes. This is what people like. We've all been to an extent making fun of his crazy bug eyes, and some people are saying no, like I think he has thyroid issues. That's like a medical condition to have your eyes like that. And he came out on social media and said that yes, in fact, he does have thyroid issues. So
I think it's also because like the show really captured moments where he was already excited about something, and so our eyes widened when we're excited, and so his eyes just went extra wide. But the show like zooms in on it, and I'm like, you guys are not helping. like his expression when he drank the dirty martini, I'm like, yeah, that's some strong shit, ain't it?
They're not doing him any favors.
No, they are not. And of course, TLC will find that one thing for people to like flare up on and do conspiracies on. Is he, a coke addict?
Right.
Is he, roiding up or something like that? It's like, guys, really, please.
Yeah.
So yeah, he went out with that. So I mean, people are still going to make jokes, but at least there's the explanation from himself. So it's not, he said, she said, or I got this news, or it's this. So
yeah.
Speaking of conspiracy theories, though.
Okay, Asin and Nicole.
Yep.
So I personally, I don't follow Asin and Nicole that much anymore. Like if somebody gives me information, I'll look into it and stuff. We've known that she has been allegedly in Morocco, and so the what's been out there is proving whether she is or is not actually in Morocco, and that's been like the scavenger hunt of meme accounts and bloggers and stuff out there because of what she's posting and what she's not posting. She's not doing lives with the two of them and whatnot. And why isn't she coming back to see her daughter? Why didn't she come out on these, when America is trying to get their people out? Like, so this has been sort of, like I said, the scavenger hunt. And one blogger, 90 Day Fiancé Meme Queen, had called the Starbucks that she allegedly works at and said, and the person told her that Nicole had just left for the day. And so that she took that initially as proof that, oh, well, she was there that day, so she clearly isn't in Morocco. And we came out and I talked to Meme Queen about this, and she fully admits it, that because you told me, Hanakawa, that Starbucks policy is to say that regardless of who they're asking for, because you don't get personal calls at work. Right?
Well, usually, and more so, you can't. So here's the thing, too, deeper into that. If Nicole actually left, right? So there was a post some time ago that said, Nicole's last day at Starbucks, she's moving to Morocco. Like, there's so much pictures and information. So when, take this for, I worked at Starbucks maybe 7 years ago. But if someone called for you and you were there, the answer was, they're not here or they don't work here.
Okay.
And so that was my only hint of like, yeah, you could have had someone who broke policy and was actually telling the truth, or you could have someone with a blanket story because that's just what they do when they answer the phone, because you're not supposed to get personal calls at work unless like your house is on fire or your family member's dead or something like that. So
right. Okay,
yeah.
so that's where we were at with that. And so the thought was wasn't, maybe she was, maybe she wasn't in Morocco. Well, apparently she did some more digging, and I have not, we here have not independently verified this information, but 90 Day Meme Queen apparently was talking to somebody in Morocco who was a cousin of Azin's, and was told by this cousin that many years ago, Azin married another one of their cousins, and they have since had several children. That this is a known fact to Nicole and her entire family, and they're all in on it. They all know this. First wife has to give permission for him to marry second wife, and there was something along those lines, like she hadn't given this permission when the show showed them trying to get their marriage license, and then they were told her paperwork was incorrect or something, that it was
Right.
actually something more nefarious having to do with this alleged wife hadn't given permission, blah, 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 blah.
No matter what anyone comes out with, I think there's still going to be a slice of skeptical until we see Azin himself come out or do a live or be somewhere public and say something, or we get something more concrete than I'm a cousin, because
Right.
I'm like 100% like, yeah, this feels it feels true, because all the things they're saying about like her hanging money over his head, it seems like something Nicole would go to great lengths to do to keep this lie going.
Yeah. Yeah. There's definitely aspects of this story that are certainly believable. This rumor of Azin being married and having kids has been around for a long time, and no one's been able to prove it one way or the other. And so having this information, again, we have not been able to independently verify this. Meme Queen talked to this cousin. I don't know anything that happened. I don't know the conversations. I don't know that. I just know what she has posted. We don't have anything that confirms or denies this story. But there are aspects of this story that seem like, this is certainly a plausible scenario given what we've seen over the years. So it could certainly be true.
And so it just adds to the next piece of the mystery, because as far as we know, this is the, latest development. This is what we have out right now. We know with Nicole that can change next week.
Right. The other piece about this was, allegedly when Nicole went out there, she didn't tell Azin she was coming. So I don't know how that went down.
If he keeps going into hiding, I'd be like, surprise.
So that he couldn't cancel on it at the last minute, like I guess he had been the last couple of times when he had an emergency or this, that, or the other thing. So that's what the story is. Again, it certainly seems like it could be plausible that he really is married with kids, and this is why their story never really went anywhere.
Right, because we know that it's been way too long that I have a feeling that TLC is not filming with them anymore.
Correct. My contacts say that as well.
Right. So if they're not filming, that means that TLC has no reason to follow her anymore, which means right, the story has no continuance, because that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I would believe that, because her following is, she says we're stronger than ever. Go to Morocco, get a few pics with them, make it seem like you were there, and go home, and then perpetually live that lie. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It right now it's, freaking mystery theater with her.
Yeah. So that's the conspiracy with them. Moving on, Evelyn and Corey posted that they are quarantined together in Ecuador, but in fact have broken up. I never know what to believe with these guys. So,
I mean, and this is the thing. They could have. So, I hate going back into the drama world, but because I know we had mentioned this, I think last week in the show, but he went down there, and I'm wondering if it was to finish filming up What Now or whatever they're doing. I have not watched their segment in What Now, so I'm not informed by those episodes. But you know how Laura was going on and on about how Evelyn had a boyfriend and Evelyn was cheating and they're really married and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I'm wondering how long they've been broken up, because if she was out there dating and the reason Corey didn't care is because he's not with her anymore. Right. All that like smoking gun evidence on how Evelyn's such a bad person, and okay.
Yeah, but if they're broken up.
Unfortunately, right. But, in Laura's eyes, she probably saw this as you're cheating. Who knows? Who knows what went down in Ecuador? That could be a whole reality show in itself.
Ugh, but I don't want it to be. Please don't do that. Because they're just all terrible, and I don't really care to see anything from them.
But, I think Past Cast has an expiration date. I think they're at theirs.
Yeah.
Even though Laura's quite new, but still, like, her story doesn't go anywhere either. So
right,
we're left with that.
Yeah, we did see her on the Biggest Breakups special they did last night, and I was here for it. That's a whole separate thing, but
that was good though. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, that's something worth. Who else was on that was Larissa, who actually posted something today. Right, she posted a pic with her and Eric, who
yes,
had
she did.
Disappeared from social media and then came back really weak. He came back weak. I think he still only has a few followers. I don't know, but
yeah, I don't know. But she posted this picture about her being happy with him today,
right? And
which
so
I suspect
a lot of people reached out. So people reached out and I thought he was gay. I thought
they were broken up.
But
all true things,
right? But people are also wondering how Larissa is still in the States.
It's true. We don't know the details of why she's still here, of the legalities of why she's still here. I suspect the picture today was just promotional for their upcoming season of Happily Ever After that they're going to be on. That's been filmed. So I suspect it's just trying to drum up attention for that.
Right, because 90 Days, even though they're on Instagram, I don't think they're on Instagram. I think they just post, but they're not following all the stuff that's happened to be more informed with their storylines.
Of what their story's supposed to be.
It's you didn't see that post? No, that's not right.
They're doing their contractually obligated social media posting.
Oh my gosh. Because, they have to post based on what's happening in the show.
Mm-hmm, correct.
And I think it's been confirmed that Happily Ever After is next up. Yes, no?
Maybe.
I saw tidbits floating around the world. I don't know. We
always What Now.
We always make bets of what we think is up next.
But yeah, Happily Ever After filming should be just about done.
And What Now is already
parts
out.
of it. Yeah, parts of Happily Ever After I know are completely in the can, so ready to be aired. I don't know when they plan on releasing this stuff, but
right.
I know a lot of that has already been filmed, or they're currently filming more to go with that. So I guess I don't know. It just seemed it was completely out of place. Larissa posting this picture with Eric. I was
right.
Okay.
I was but I'm bored. Post it.
People need stuff to look at, so we're trying.
Pretty much.
Stephanie and Erica posted after the episode that she had been on medication. Part of her her medication regime. She was on this one medication. She called it Lupron, which she said makes her completely feel asexual. So that's part of what was in play, what we see during relationships.
Interesting.
Yeah, and you know, that's something that's a really good point that she brings up because, yeah, as somebody who is on a lot of different medications to deal with a lot of the side effects of multiple sclerosis, I can relate to that because multiple sclerosis deals with nerve issues and signals between the brain and your nerve signals are messed up, and so your brain muscles and things like that. So to calm those, you have to calm those nerve endings, right? So if you calm nerve endings, you calm all your nerve endings, like all of them, including, you know, a lot of what I have with my MS is in my torso region, in my hands, like that. It's called transverse myelitis. So it's a lot of stuff that's happening in my trunk area and stuff. And so the medication is aimed to calm those nerves and try to give me some feeling back in my fingertips and whatnot. And so if it affects your nerves or fingertips, it's going to affect nerves of other areas of your body too. So, you know, there's a balance that has to be done on, at least with that medication for me personally. So with when Stephanie came out and said this, I was like, oh yeah, that's probably also plays a factor.
Well, no, definitely. Like I've even been on medications for, migraines and stuff that are also used for antidepressants. And so, or, you know, bipolar medicine. And some of the side effects they tell you is a decrease in sexual desire. So
right.
That is actually in the realm of believable because everyone's, you know, not everyone, but most people have had those medications that have.
Yeah, you know. It's a common side effect of a lot of like SSRIs and antidepressants and things like that. So, yeah. So that plays a role in her, you know, she's very, you know, loving and cares about Erica, but, you know, doesn't necessarily want to jump in bed because her sex drive is, you know,
right. Which drives me nuts that that's a focus of their segment is her not wanting to have sex the first hour they met.
I know, right?
It just drives me nuts that is the focus of their segments. Like, okay.
And I feel like it's not genuine because I don't feel like Erica would really be that way with her.
Right. I don't think Erica would be pushy, and I don't think, I don't know.
Yeah.
She didn't seem pushy. She didn't say like, I demand sex now. She just wanted to kiss, which, you know, most of the people who saw them for the first time did. So I can imagine that's something you would miss, you know?
Yes. So. Yes.
They're driving me nuts.
Much less exciting person, Jeffrey, our friend Jeffrey of Jeffrey and Varia. He had a court date last week for some of his most recent charges that had to do with the domestic violence, kidnapping stuff that he's got going on. He had a court date last week, and we don't know if it happened because COVID. So we don't have. I know a lot of people were asking me what happened at that court date. I don't know if it happened. Doesn't you know, because everything has been shut down. So we don't know.
That's just how it goes, right? Yeah, a lot of even cases out here, and you know. All jury duty has been suspended until whatever. So nobody's going to court right now, which could be a good and a bad thing for folks. Yeah. That
reminds me, I need to check Talker of Shit's case file to see what's happening with that. Her end of the month court date.
Gotcha.
Next, we have Lisa going off the training wheels again.
So this is a trend, right? Their episode comes up, and all of a sudden there are posts that you know are reactions to the episode that aired. So this time, Soulja Boy started it by posting in his... he posted a post of maybe it's an up-and-coming artist in Nigeria twerking at the kitchen counter. And of course, as soon as he posted this, like all the comments were like, "You're trying Lisa, aren't you? Like, what's going on?" I mean, and like, yeah, and not too long after he posted this, because you know it's her ass showing and she's jiggling it around. Lisa then posts in her post our pictures of strippers. I even had a fan who said that was her. Oh, I think she said it was her friend's ex-boyfriend was one of the strippers that she posted. Yes. And she's like, yeah, he's a stripper. I was like, oh, well, I mean, she just like, she does this like back, oh, I can post this too. And she's like, this guy's premium white chocolate. And I'm like, oh, good Lord, can we not talk about food?
Why do we gotta have food references? Why? I mean, it's still not going to stop me from stuffing my mouth hole, but, come on now.
So funny. So, yeah, she goes off on her tangent. He's poking at her, and then he posts the music video with the model, which seems like another poke at her. And he's always liking posts that are making fun of her. So, I mean, we're reading between the lines that they're probably not an item anymore. For whatever reason.
Or they could be following what they're told to, which is, follow whatever is going on the show. Or they fought on the show, so let's fight on social media.
Right. I mean, if that's the case, then, I mean, they're doing a really good job at staying within their contract agreement.
But
It just seems a little too reactive to be actually a well plotted out plan. So
yeah, she's not exactly a brain trust, so I'm not gonna hold out that she's being strategic about her social media posting.
At the end of the day, I mean, she's having fun. So I mean,
all right,
I don't support all the things she says or posts. But when you look at it, a view of just looking at the show, yeah, she's something else.
All right, well. I think that covers it for this week of what's been happening, but the new cast has been on live more than ever on Instagram Lives. They're posting all kinds of weird stuff. They're posting TikToks, they're posting videos, they're doing all kinds of stuff because everyone's bored and has nothing else to do. So there's going to be, I have a feeling like this segment is going to become bigger and bigger each week. And we'll do all our best to keep covering it all for you. The other big thing that's big on social media right now is Tiger King, the Joe Exotic movie or a documentary, and there was a podcast. There's a podcast out about it as well. I think it's just called Joe Exotic. I'm not sure, and. Then there's this Netflix documentary, Tiger King, that everyone's watching. And I have watched it, so if you have questions, a lot of the podcasts, recap podcasts, the 90-day ones are covering it. I know the gays are. I know Aaron and Mary Payne are going to cover it. I don't know if the Cray Crays are going to cover it, but a lot of people are. So.
I think they did, actually. So
okay,
there's a lot of podcasts covering it. And
so that means
a lot of them are quite hilarious.
And then I think we're not going to...
I hope I'm informed saying this, but the 90-Day Gays, I think they did Tiger Queens.
Yes, they did a whole series, the separate series, not Tiger Queens. I actually just started listening to that.
Listen to it.
Yeah, I just started listening to that because I finished the show the other night, so I'm listening to that now. And I had to Google what they were talking about. He's probably got a Prince Albert. And I was like, what? I know that. What is a Prince Albert? And I had to Google it, and there was images, and I'm scarred.
You had to Google Prince Albert? Oh.
I did, because I could remember. Quarantine brain is real, you guys. Quarantine brain.
That's and when you forward it to a hetero life mate, and you're like, so what do you think? No.
No. He hates piercings to begin with. I can't imagine what he would think about that.
You might shrivel up and disappear.
So with all of that said, we do have a Patreon. However, we won't be covering Tiger King, but we are covering other stuff. Right now we're doing Married at First Sight. We just finished Love After Lockup. I think there's going to be another Love After Lockup starting soon that we'll be covering. We're looking at covering other stuff. I'm not sure what direction that's going to go, but we do have a Patreon. If you want to hear us talk more and you want to hear Hannah Kawa laughing at more nothing, then come join us over there. That's patreon.com/the Fraudcast. And for $3 a month, you can get that content. And $5, I will send you some stickers. And for those of you guys who are $5 patron. Well, for all of you guys who are patrons of our Patreon, thank you so much. It's amazing. For those of you guys who I owe stickers to, I just got new envelopes that I needed. I was waiting on, and I will be able to get those in the mail soon. So you should get those hopefully soon. Soonish being the next couple weeks. I am Frauded by TLC. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Frauded by TLC. You can find our Facebook group at the Fraudcasters. If you're a Patreon member, we also have a private Facebook group for the Patreons, as well as a Discord server. You are 90 Day Fiancé today.
Yes,
on
I
Instagram.
am.
90 Day Fiancé today on Instagram. You can find Hanakawa. And I think that's it, right? So thanks for joining us. We will talk to you guys again soon. We are the Fraudcast, and we're dumpster diving, so you don't have to.
This Fraudcast has been produced and edited by yours truly. Art by Sarah Dottie. Music written, produced, and performed by Ooh Mommy. Segment producer at iHeart Reality TV Shows. Further assistance provided by many unnamed fraud consultants.
She's such a bitch about it, right? Like, she's such a bitch about it. You know, him being kind of a dick and Darcy being Darcy. He couldn't be bothered to do that for this queen, this person he loves so much. No, fuck you, Ed. Your legs are like mine. They're hairy. Like, you are such a gross, ew. She's not your fucking blow-up doll. Because they're just all terrible, and I don't really care to see anything from them.